Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here, and today we're back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 replay. Today we've got ourselves a Terran versus Protoss on the map Frozen Temple. So I can get into all the details after a second here, but for now, spawning down in the bottom right side of the map, it is the blue Protoss player playing for flip side. It is Bales. And spawning up in the top left side of the map, it is the Korean Zerg playing in the yellow. It is Samsung Solar. So we've got ourselves, the matchup we have here right now really is a rising North American pro who's shown a lot of improvement lately versus just such a solid Korean Zerg who's been dominant ever since this expansion of Starcraft came out. For now, we've just got, well, let's get into the map here. We've got ourselves one of the cross-spawn maps, which is Frozen Temple, that is just a single spawn, so the players know exactly where each other are, and we actually have Bales going for some cheeky play here. He moved out with a quick probe, and now he's trying to block Solar's expansion as long as possible, with a pylon blocking the natural, and with the probe, he's still blocking the third base. So this is such a huge frustration for a Zerg. This third hatchery for Solar is so late, he's been forced to throw up this spawning pool first. And now Bales is going to be happily walling down on the low ground and going into a Nexus. Solar does get up that hatchery up, but it is very late for a Zerg. It's the farther away third base. So this is already going to upset a Zerg player here. And now we're just going to have Bales happily throwing up his wall and everything behind this, getting up this cybernetic score at the front. I assume he's going to use a pylon to finish this part of the wall here, or perhaps a second gateway. We'll see, but regardless, Bales has used that sort of time with the probe harassment, so he knows the situation that he can safely wall off, and that's exactly what he's doing. Now Solar is making a feelings here, as Solar is floating a lot of minerals here, as his hatchery was late, so he put money into the only thing he could, a spawning pool, but now he's still floating money here. So this has already set the, I guess, tempo of Solar off a bit here. Gonna be feeling a bit off, I guess is the way to put it. He's now transferring some drones, and he's gonna take this, well, his third hatchery, which is actually his natural expansion here. He's gonna be taking this now, so very late. He is going into this third hatchery here, however, it's not in the order a Zerg would normally like to take this. Now we have Bales getting up his natural expansion here. He's already fully saturated his main base. He's going to start making lots of probes, and he's actually ahead in the workers right now. This is not super uncommon, but what is sort of not super common here is a Twilight Council down in the bottom left side of the map here for Bales. He does not want Solar to know this is the situation. So he's likely going to be proxying Dark Templar here. Either this or possibly hiding Blink or Resonating Glaives. So regardless, he's going to be trying to end this game early. And judging by the fact that he's throwing up more than 2 gateways, it's possibly going to be some sort of aggression. But really the only way to tell, yeah, well, here's the Dark Shrine here. So Bales is going to try to essentially cheese Solar out. He put Solar off rhythm here. Solar's just thinking right now, I gotta get this economy back up on track at, well, get everything sort of laid out flat and standard. But so really the last thing Solar is possibly going to be thinking about is to get detection for this Dark Shrine, which is almost halfway done here. So what we could have, we have Solar scouting happily with these overlords. He sees all the tech for Bales, so he could be thinking there's some sort of hidden tech here. Well, the Solar sees no tech here for Bales, so he could be thinking there's some sort of hidden tech here, but he does not know for certain. The question is whether Solar will play it safe or whether he'll be caught off guard with these Dark Templars, with this play from Bales. And now it's not just going to be one commitment to this these Dark Templar. He's also getting Resonating Glaives behind this, so it's likely going to be a Dark Templar and then a large Adept attack following that up. So Bales doesn't have much intention to go to the late game here, so it's likely going to be a DTs into Warp Prism here, into Warp Prism Adepts. Now, this Dark Shrine did finish up already, and Bales is warping them down far, far away from the base of Solar, so it will take them a bit to get over here. And now Solar has seen this robotic space, so this could also sort of throw Solar off. He might just be thinking, okay, he's going for a late robotics bay, and now Solar does have a Spore Crawler in each base, however. He got those up, so Solar's going to be completely fine versus these Dark Templar. These DTs are going to come in. They can always get a bit of damage done here, as they do one-shot drones, so Bales could focus these down, but he's going to get in, he's going to see these Spore Crawlers, and these DTs are going to be sort of pushed away. However, there is no mobile detection, so he can hack away, he can try to harass here. However, he needs to be careful. Moving in with these DTs, getting lots of scouting information with these Templar, and there's actually really no way for Bales to clear these up till his lair is finished, and once he does, he will get some Overseers. So the Dark Templar have failed for Bales. The question is whether he's going to move on into this Blink Stalker Adept, and I say Blink Stalker because after he got his Resonating Glaives, he's now going for Blink here. If we look at the income tab, Bales is a bit behind, but he is getting up this third Nexus here, so he's going to be completely sort of safe by all means. He's going into standard Protoss play behind this, even though these DTs didn't get much damage down and are now being cleaned up. He actually saves one of them with that Warp Prism. Not much anti-air for Solar, so we could see some great Warp Prism harass here coming out of Bales. Now we see a Spire and lots of drones coming out for Solar, so he could be caught off guard by a big attack here if Bales goes for it. We see +1 attack coming out for Bales here. He's getting out Immortals, but he's still not thrown up lots of gateways, so this game is going to be going a bit longer on. Solar getting up his 4th base. The macro is commencing after this failed cheese by Bales. The Warp Prism moving around, trying to sort of put pressure on Solar, make him feel uneasy. Not likely to get a lot of damage, as there is Spore Crawlers up. Warp Prism just hanging out at the back here now. Solar moving in with an Overseer, seeing everything there is to see, which isn't anything definitive by Bales. Bales just sort of macroing up at this point, and now here we see something definitive coming up for Bales. He's going for this double Stargate, so this either means he's going to be going into Phoenix here. Well, the question is, did Bales scout this Spire? I assume he did if he's going for these. Yes, Bales did scout the Spire, so he is going to be prepared for this. Solar has scouted this Dark Shrine and Adept upgrade here, so oh, this is so many Lings. The one Dark Templar could try to clean this up, however, the Warp Prism's just going to get out of here, as Bales knows there's Dark Templar on the way, and that's why he's getting up 2 Stargates here. He's going to start producing Phoenix to deal with these Mutalisks. However, we look at the units count, this is already quite a high units count for Solar. He's going to be reaching at about 17 Mutalisks, so no small amount of Mutalisk here. Solar's getting attack upgrades. He's committing to this. So it's very important that Bales is throwing down this fleet beacon, going to be chrono boosting out these Phoenix non-stop to deal with these Mutalisks, which are now across the map, which are going to be able to start doing damage. So Bales going to need very good control to deal with these Mutas. Bales is down on supply, but he's on a solid 3 bases here, and this tech will eventually be nullified. These Mutas will be nullified by these Phoenix, and actually +1 attack upgrades coming in for Bales on these Phoenix here. So he's committing very hard to this counterattack, and he's likely going to tech into air after this. And I say this because he's also getting the shields upgrade, so this is going to benefit. Well, this is going to benefit air units. That's actually a bit of an odd upgrade choice, likely because the Twilight Council has gone down. So we now see the Phoenix range coming up here for Bales. He's trying to hold off on the harass here. The Mutalisk are poking and prodding for Solar. However, Mutalisk are somewhat flimsy here, so they are going to have a hard time committing. But for now, Solar's just happily macroing as Bales is trying to get some counterattack damage here with this Warp Prism that is currently just sitting here. More and more Phoenix coming out of Bales, and he's reaching this higher count, which will eventually completely shut down these Mutalisks. Once they have this Phoenix range, these Phoenix are essentially, well, the Mutas are essentially done here. One Phoenix actually getting picked off there as they poke forward, another very low here, so Bales does need to be careful. He needs to micro this properly. And now we know Solar has identified the fact that, okay, yeah, my Mutas will not last forever, so he's teching into Hydralisk, and he's likely going to be teching into Lurkers at some point after this, as Lurkers are very effective versus Protoss. And Bales his position wasn't too terrible. He's been really behind ever since he went for that Dark Shrine, ever since he had to rebuild his Twilight Council because that proxied tech failed. So now Solar is in a very commanding position here. up on bases, he's up on workers, he's making 35 banelings right here, so it's very possible Solar could just be going in for a kill move right here, and it's very possible he's going to kill Bales. Bales is half the army supply of Solar, and Bales hasn't really been getting harassed. He hasn't really been losing units all the time. He's just simply behind because he went for that proxy and it never paid off. The Phoenix still going to try and push away the Mutas. However, now there's Hydras to support them, so it's going to be a very tough situation for Bales. He needs to be making as many units as he can. He is going to have charge done here in a second. However, 35 banelings here is going to put a bit of a damper on this. Force fields come down, but there is a hole in the wall, so the banelings are crashing through. More force fields going down. More of the banelings locked out. However, it seems that Solar just has so many units here. The Phoenix picking off the Mutalisks. The question is whether there's going to be enough Phoenix left over to deal with these Hydras, and I'm not sure if there will be. The Phoenix now starting to lift off the Hydras and pick them off, so the Hydra count is going to eventually go down, so the Phoenix will be able to deal with everything. However, Bales has lost all of his probes on the third base. He does have a force base up, however, so he may be able to hang on here. And he held this attack by all means. The Banelings rolling around trying to find something, but there's nothing. The Phoenix picking them up. One thing that I'd love to see, this is just one thing that I've always found amusing. I wish when Phoenix picked up Banelings that if they exploded, they could explode on top of air units. Sort of like a Scourge in the campaign, but because Banelings only detonate on the ground, when they're in the air, shouldn't they detonate on air units? Anyway, that's just one of my random thoughts here. We now have Solar trying to push across the map. He knows the damage he did. However, there are still the Phoenix. There's sentries here, which are going to be able to force field off the top of this ramp for days here. However, some of the sentries going down as a few lings did get through. But it seems that Bales has held back Solar for now. He's up on a fourth base. He's getting this +2 attack. And we're reaching the point which these players are all are deciding as to what they're going to pursue next. And now we did see that Lurker Den go up for Solar here. There's the Lurker Den here. And now Solar can't attack up the middle here, so he's trying a different attack route. He's going to start working on these rocks here. And this is a lot of Hydralisks. There's only 8 Phoenix and there's 33 Hydralisks. That is not enough. That is not enough Phoenix to deal with 33 Hydralisks here. However, Bales is going to try to hold on. He's going to need to get force fields to push these slings off. He's using them instead to force off the Hydras. However, they're getting around now. The Phoenix lifting off as much as they can. They're very effective versus these light Hydras. However, they are all going down, and now Solar takes the game. So really, Bales went for that proxy. It did not work, but understandable that Bales would drop the game to a very solid Zerg like Solar. Even though Solar was messed with at the start of the game, he managed to play very solid. He did not get caught off by something like Dark Templar, and that's why Solar is a very solid Zerg player. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. However, if you have any feedback, make sure to let me know. If you like the content, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, as I'm always trying to put out regular StarCraft 2 content. See you guys next time.